ನಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಹೋಗ ಜನ ಒಂದು ದಿನದ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಿಂದು ಹೋಗ. ಜೋಡು ಬಂಡಿಯ ಹುಡಿಗೆಂಡ್ರು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಕುಡಿ ಸುತ್ತೂರ ನೆಂಟರ ಜೊತೆಗೂಡಿ ಹುಟ್ಟೂರ ಸೇರಿ ಎತ್ತಿ ನನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ ಮುತ್ತೈದೆ ಮುಖವ ನೋಡುಬಾರ.
ಈ ಸೊಗಸಾದ ಜಾನಪದ ಹಾಡಿನ ಸಾಲನ್ನು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಮ್ಮೆಯಾದರೂ ಕೇಳಿಯೇ ಇರುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಸಾಲುಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರುವ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಇಂದು ಕೊಂಚ ಜಾಲಾಡುವ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಯೇ ಬಿಡೋಣ. ಬನ್ನಿ, ಇನ್ನೇಕೆ ತಡ, ನಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಬರೋಣ. ಜಾತ್ರೆ ಕೇವಲ ಆಚರಣೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ಸೊಬಗು, ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಬೆಸುಗೆ. ಕೇವಲ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಆಚರಣೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಗದೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಸೆಯುವ, ಬಂಧು ಮಿತ್ರರನ್ನು ಒಂದುಗೂಡಿಸುವ, ಒಡೆದ ಮನಸ್ಸುಗಳನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದಾಗಿಸುವ ಪರ್ವ. ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ದುಡಿದು ದಣಿವಾರಿಸಲು ಹೊಸ ಬಟ್ಟೆ, ಬಗೆ ಬಗೆಯ ತಿಂಡಿ ತಿನಿಸುಗಳು, ನೆಂಟರ ಸಾಮೀಪ್ಯ, ಹಾಡು, ಕುಣಿತ, ಭಜನೆ, ನಾಟಕ, ನಗು, ಹಾಸ್ಯ, ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕಲ್ಲವೇ? ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಮುಂದುವರೆದರೂ, ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಬೆಳೆದರೂ, ಜಾತ್ರೆ ಎಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಅರಿಯದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಂತಸ ಮೂಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಬಣ್ಣದ ಕಾಗದದ ಚಿತ್ತಾರ, ತೋರಣ, ಹಾದಿಯುದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಚಂದದ ರಂಗೋಲಿ, ಸಂಭ್ರಮದಿಂದ ನಕ್ಕು ನಲಿಯುವ ಚೆನ್ನರು, ಜರತಾರೆ, ಆಭರಣ ತೊಟ್ಟು ಬೀಗುವ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಅವನನ್ನು ನೋಡಲೆಂದೇ ಸಜ್ಜಾಗಿ ನಿಂತ ಪೋರರು, ಜಗಡಿ ಕಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನೇರಿ ನೆಂಟರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹರಡುವ ಹಿರಿಯರು. ಹಬ್ಬ ಎಂಥ ಸಂಭ್ರಮವಲ್ಲವೇ ಈ ಜಾತ್ರೆ ಎನ್ನುವ ಹಬ್ಬ. ಮನರಂಜನೆಗಾಗಿ ನಾಟಕ, ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾ, ಸಾಲು ಸಾಲಾಗಿ ನಿಂತ ಬಳೆ ಅಂಗಡಿ, ಗಾಳಿ ಚೆಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಚಂದ. ದೂರ ದೂರಿಂದ ಬಂದ ಬೀಗುತಿಗೆ ಬಳೆ ತೊಡಿಸೋದೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವೇ ಹೌದು. ವಿವಿಧತೆಗೆ ಹೆಸರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗೂ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಆದ ವಿಶೇಷತೆ. ಉಡುಗೆ ತೊಡುಗೆ, ಊಟ ತಿಂಡಿ, ಮಾತಾಡುವ ಶೈಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ವಿಶೇಷ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿಯೇ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ವೇ? ಬನ್ನಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ನಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಜಾತ್ರೆಯ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಗೆ ನಗುವ ಹಳ್ಳಿ. The village smiles in the footsteps of our fair, exclaimed our great poet Nadoja Sri Shivarama Karan. Here he beautifully ties the joy of a jatre to the very rhythm of the village's life and emphasizes that it brings smiles to every corner of the community. Jaatre or fairs are the lifeblood of Karnataka's rich cultural fabric. While they flourish in the heartlands of rural Karnataka, their vibrant spirit resonates even in cosmopolitan Bengaluru, drawing throngs of devotees and revelers, united in timeless tradition and fervent celebrations. The Kannada word Jaatre is derived from the Sanskrit word yatra, which means journey or pilgrimage. Over time, in Karnataka and other parts of southern India, yatra evolved linguistically to Jaatre in Kannada and similar terms in other regional languages such as Jatra in Marathi and Bengali. While yatra in Sanskrit refers more broadly to a spiritual journey or pilgrimage, Jaatre in Kannada has come to specifically denote the annual religious fairs or festivals dedicated to local deities and saints. While Jaatre and Melas may be confused to mean the same, but they are not. Melas have a broader meaning, often referring to carnivals or large gatherings which can be religious, seasonal, cultural, or even commercial in nature. The Mahakumbha Mela of 2013 in the city of Prayagraj set the record for the largest gathering in the world, and the magnitude continues to grow with each edition. The Puri Jagannath Rath Yatra is another major jatre in our country, attracting lakhs of devotees and even visitors from outside India. These fairs are significant as they transcend social and economic barriers by bringing together people and communities from all walks of life. The temple fairs in Karnataka hold great spiritual significance and mark major events in our religious calendar. Many of them are also timed to coincide with seasonal changes, especially after the harvest, to signify a moment of gratitude. In Karnataka, these temple fairs rise in grandeur, each one a tribute to the revered local deities. From the timeless grace of Thai Banashankari in Bagalkote to the mystical power of Lord Subramanya at Kukke, be it the awe-inspiring Gavisiddheshwara Jatre of Koppala or the grand Male Mahadeshwara festival in Chamarajnagara, these sacred fairs echo devotion. Every district and even the smallest taluk hosts its own dazzling celebration, honoring the divine with unyielding fervor. These temple fairs are far more than celebrations. They are echoes of an ancient world where temples were the heartbeats of communities, pulsing with both spiritual energy and bustling commerce. Farmers and artisans from distant lands would gather, transforming these fairs into vibrant trade hubs where goods, stories, and traditions were exchanged in spirited barters. Royal patronage only elevated these gatherings under the mighty Chalukyas of Badami and Kalyana as well as the Rashtrakutas of Manyaketha. These temple fairs flourished, drawing both the nobility and the common folk alike. And then came the Vijayanagara Empire, whose grand vision gave birth to the iconic Dasara festivities, an extraordinary celebration of victory and valor. Through centuries, Dasara Habba transformed and took on new forms until it was embraced by the great Wadayar dynasty, who bestowed upon Mysuru Dasara a legacy of splendor unmatched by any other. Today, Mysuru Dasara has transformed as Nada Habba, our state festival, embodying combining the spirit of Karnataka with the magnificence that echoes through the ages. The royal city of Mysuru comes alive with dazzling processions, vibrant performances, and sacred rituals that echo the triumph of good over evil. At its heart, the Jambu Savari, a regal elephant procession bearing the Murti of Tai Chamundeshwari, winds through the streets, accompanied by dancing, music, and folk art. The air is alive with devotion, and the city is bathed in golden lights as thousands gather to witness this timeless celebration of power, culture, and faith. Mysuru Dasara is not just a festival, it is the crown jewel of our heritage, the grandest celebration of them all, where history, devotion, and Karnataka's undying spirit converge in a spectacle for the ages. It is a living legend where past and present unite in one magnificent display. Across centuries, the teachings of saints, Vachanakaras, and Haridasas like Basavanna, Allamaprabhu, Sri Adishankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa, Manteswami, Akkamahadevi, and other enlightened souls infused our fairs with unity and unwavering faith. But the colonial era cast its shadow, as British authorities sought to control these sacred gatherings. With independence, however, these temple fairs surged back to life, reclaiming their rightful place in our cultural and spiritual landscape. Today, while modern forces like technology and urbanization weave into the fabric of these fairs, they continue to stand as powerful symbols where tradition and contemporary culture merge, keeping the spirit of our ancestors alive. A Jaatre is a mesmerizing blend of Desi or folk and Marga or classical traditions, intertwining the earthy vibrancy of rural culture with the refined grace of classical rituals. The Desi element shines through in the infectious energy of folk dances like Puje Kunita, Dollu Kunita, and Veeragasi, where vibrant costumes, rhythmic drum beats, and lively movements captivate the crowds. It's the unfiltered expression of devotion rooted in the lives and stories of local communities. Folk music performed with rustic instruments echo the raw emotions of faith and celebration, bringing people together in joyous harmony. Contrasting yet complementing this is the Marga, the classical dimension rooted in spiritual traditions and temple rituals. Sacred chants based on precise ragas fill the air with divinity, while elaborate pujas and rathotsavas follow meticulously preserved Vedic customs. The spiritual energy is elevated by classical music and dance performances, offering a meditative experience that transcends the earthly realm. Together, these elements create a unique tapestry where the exuberance of the Desi enriches the solemnity of the Marga, and the sacred and the celebratory merge into a singular, unforgettable experience of devotion and cultural brilliance. Some temple fairs also feature intense forms of devotion, such as fire walking rituals, where devotees walk barefoot across burning embers as an act of faith and surrender to the divine. An essential part of many of these temple fairs is the Rathotsava or chariot procession. The Rathotsava is a grand spectacle. Amid the rhythmic beats of drums and the resonant chants of hymns, the deity's Murti, adorned in vibrant silks and dazzling ornaments, is ceremoniously placed on a towering, elaborately decorated Teru or temple car. As thousands of devotees gather in steeped devotion, the Teru, a symbol of cosmic motion and divine presence, is pulled through the streets by ropes held in unison. The air crackles with spiritual energy as flower petals rain down, and a sense of divine euphoria envelops the crowd, transforming the procession into a moving temple of faith and celebration. The procession unites the community in shared reverence and marks the culmination of days of rituals. One of the standout performances during the temple fairs is the Puja Kunita, a traditional worship dance performed as an offering to the deity. This dance showcases rhythmic movements often accompanied by the sounds of traditional drums. Tottilu Kunita, Yeduru Kunita, Hai Gunita, Hejje Kunita, Gejje Kunita are different forms of Puja Kunitas. Another significant dance form is the Dollu Kunita, a popular folk dance characterized by its vigorous drum beats and dynamic movement. Dollu Kunita brings an electrifying energy to the Jaatre atmosphere, symbolizing the power and grace of the deities being honored. Veeragase Nritya, Kamsale Kunita, Goravara Kunita, Pattada Kunita, Tamate, Kolata, Somana Kunita, Nagari, Suggi Kunita, Komba Nritya, Lavani Nritya, Judu Haligi are the different art and dance forms performed at various regions of Karnataka. Bhuta Kolas and Nagaradhane are prevalent in the festivities of coastal Karnataka. Udivesha, Kaggavesha, Simhavesha, Garudigombe, Karadi Majalu, and similar art forms are indispensable to our Jaatre. The energetic and playful nature of these art forms engages the crowds, thereby making these festivities lively and memorable. Behind every Jaatre, there are stories of religious folklore containing myths and legends associated with the deities being worshipped. These stories often explain the origins of the festivals, detailing how certain gods blessed the land and saved their devotees from adversity, thereby adding layers of meaning to the rituals. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that there is no better way to depict these tales than through Yakshagana, an ancient art form that blends storytelling with dance and drama. With roots in Karnataka, the Yakshagana performances are often held during the evening hours hours of the festivities and sometimes may stretch well into the night. This indigenous way of depicting our mythological tales of gods and demons captures the audience's imagination through vibrant costumes, masks, and musical narration. Talamaddale, Bayalata, Togolugombeyata, Gamaka, Harikate are other art forms that are prevalent too and are used as a means to depict these divine stories. These performances keep our traditional art forms alive and connect modern audiences with Karnataka's folklore. Throughout the Jaatre, the sound of Nadaswara fills the air. These traditional wind instruments are a vital part of these religious processions and lend an auspicious tone to the proceedings. Music is an integral part of most temple fairs. Devotional songs in the form of bhajanes and kirtanes elevate the spiritual atmosphere and the common folk join the chorus. Many popular folk songs are sung in these events and are part of the celebrations. These folk songs are a very imaginative and rooted way of connecting with the Sthala Puranas. As day turns into night, the celebration continues with cultural events, games, rides, and vibrant stalls selling all kinds of things. The temple grounds are illuminated with oil lamps and grand firework displays often light up the sky. Jaatre are also a reflection of our state's linguistic diversity with Tulu, Konkani, Kodava, and Kannada traditions blending coherently in different regions. The diverse cuisine is a given in all of these fairs. Holige, Chigadi, Mandaki Ogarne, Churmuri, and other local snacks are almost always found in all of these fairs. Many other food dishes are voluntarily prepared by the devotees and are often shared among family, friends, and even strangers, reinforcing the sense of community. Lastly, at the end of each ritual, devotees receive a part of the sacred offering to the deities known as prasada, symbolizing the divine blessings shared among everyone who take part. One of the most vibrant aspects of Jaatre in Karnataka is the traditional market setup that springs to life alongside the religious festivities. These markets are bustling hubs of trade and culture, where villagers gather to sell their handicrafts and arts. Local artisans showcase intricate pieces from wooden toys and folk games to traditional Karnataka textiles and ornaments, making these markets a rich display of local craftsmanship. Agricultural products are also a key feature, with villagers trading fresh produce and even livestock contributing to the local rural economy. Stalls selling religious offerings such as incense, flowers, temple lamps, and traditional jewelry are scattered throughout the marketplace. Ultimately, Jaatre markets are a vital part of the social and economic fabric of our hinterlands. Traditional games and competitions are a big draw at our Jaatre, adding excitement and fun to the festivities. Popular events like Hagga Jaggata, bull races, and wrestling matches attract participants from nearby villages as crowds cheer on with great enthusiasm. Another essential aspect of these fairs is the participation of the entire community in organizing and carrying out the rituals. Local volunteers, temple trusts, and committees work tirelessly to ensure that every aspect of the festival, from the chariot procession to food offerings, runs smoothly. Karnataka is blessed to host many such vibrant temple fairs or Jaatre. If we travel northwards to the historic district of Bagalkot, one can witness the grand Banashankari Ammana Jaatre held annually on Banahunnime. Banashankari Devi was deeply revered by the Chalukyas of Badami. To the north, the Saudatti Yellamma Devi Jaatre takes place on Bharata Hunnime and is one of the most revered festivals in Karnataka. Similarly, the Madappana Jaatre sees thousands of devotees make an annual pilgrimage to the Male Mahadeshwara hills, seeking spiritual fulfillment. Here, Kamsale is closely connected with the tradition of Shiva worship. Only those who have vowed to live a life of devotion to Mahadeshwara are supposed to perform Kamsale. Equally captivating is the Kundapura Kodiyal Teru Jaatre, a grand chariot festival where devotees pull a huge ratha, dedicating their prayers to the divine. The annual Sri Siddharuda Jatre Mahotsava is a fair that takes place in Hubballi. The fair is a celebration of the life of Sri Siddharuda Swami, considered an incarnation of Shiva. The fair features various programs, including a milking competition where local farmers compete to see who can milk the most from their cattle. The Koppala Gavisiddeshwara Jatre is a carnival of faith and culture. This is an event that attracts people irrespective of religion. This Jatre is organized by the Gavimatha. The Dasoha in this Jatre sees a very large voluntary participation of devotees in the preparation of food, as it is served to around 10 lakh people who take part in the celebrations. Hampi Utsava, also called as the Vijaya Utsava, captures the glory of the Vijayanagara Empire. The festivities take place every year at the Virupaksha temple, commemorating the culture, traditions of the bygone era. The festival is a spectacular display of Karnataka's folk and classical art forms. This, along with the light and sound shows, are unique attractions which you can't afford to miss. The Kolluru Mookambika Jatre is another famous event that draws pilgrims from across India, making it a major spiritual event. Though the Mahamastakabhisheka of Gummateshwara in Shravanabedagola is traditionally not a Jatre, there are many similarities. It happens once in every 12 years and is a very grand event, attracting Jain devotees from all across India. Very recently, the Hasanamba Jatre was celebrated with much fervor. The temple doors of Hasanamba, or Smiling Mother, opens once a year to her devotees, and they patiently wait for more than 4 to 5 hours just to get a glimpse of the goddess. In Bengaluru, the Karaga festival is a centuries-old Jatre associated with the Tigala community. This festival's centerpiece is a striking procession where a priest carries carries the sacred karga on his head, symbolizing the power of Draupadi, an incarnation of goddess Shakti. Bengaluru is also witness to a unique carnival by the name of Kadlekai Parishe. Here, farmers come from all over the state to offer their first crop of groundnuts to the Basava or Nandi in the Dodda Ganapati temple premises. It is said to have originated from a legend about farmers appeasing a bull that destroyed their crops. Each and every village has its own local way of celebrating their local deities at different times of the year. We have limited ourselves in the interest of time. However, we encourage each one of you to make a visit to the local Jaatre of any of your colleagues' native village in order to experience the diverse cultural landscape of our beloved state, and maybe make a pledge to visit a new one every year. For many, these temple fairs are deeply personal. Countless devotees share stories of lifelong devotion. Families have visited these Jaatre for decades, passing down traditions from one generation to the next. Their experiences are filled with faith, miracles, and a sense of spiritual fulfillment.
ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ರೀ ನಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆ? ನಿಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ ನೆನಪಾಗಿರಬೇಕಲ್ವೇ? ತಲತಲಾಂತರಗಳಿಂದ ನಡೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ ಇಂತಹ ಸಂಭ್ರಮದ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯಬೇಕು. ಆ ಬದ್ಧತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರದ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ನಿತ್ಯ ಜೀವನದ ಯಾಂತ್ರಿಕತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾವು ಇಂತಹ ಸಂಭ್ರಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ಳಲು ಆಗದೇ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಗೆ ಈ ಪರಂಪರೆ ಉಳಿಯಬೇಕಾದರೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸದ ಒತ್ತಡವನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪವಾದರೂ ಬದಿಗಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಾದರೆ ಆಚರಣೆ ಉಳಿಯುವುದು, ಪರಂಪರೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಸಾಗುವುದು. ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ ಲಾಡು, ಬೆಂಡು ಬತ್ತಾಸು, ಬಣ್ಣದ ರಿಬ್ಬನ್, ಗಿರಿಗಿಟ್ಲೆ, ಬಣ್ಣದ ಚಾಲೀಸು, ತೇರಿಗೆ ಕೈ ಮುಗಿದು ಧನ್ಯನಾದನೆಂಬ ಭಾವನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಗೆ ಕೊನೆಯಾಗದೆ ಮುಂದಿನ 10 ತಲೆಮಾರುಗಳವರೆಗೂ ಉಳಿಯುವಂತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಮನೆ ಎಂದರೆ 3 ಜನ ಎನ್ನುವ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ನಮ್ಮದಲ್ಲ. ಅಜ್ಜನ ಅನುಭವದ ಮಾತುಗಳು, ಅಜ್ಜಿಯ ಕಥೆಗಳು, ತುಂಬು ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಸಾಮೀಪ್ಯ ಇಂದಿನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅನುಭವಿಸಲು ಈ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ಸಹಕಾರಿಯಲ್ಲವೇ? ಬನ್ನಿ ಸಂಭ್ರಮಿಸೋಣ ನಮ್ಮೂರ ಜಾತ್ರೆ. ಇದು ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಗೊಡ್ಡು ಆಚರಣೆಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಬದುಕಿನ ಭಾವನೆಗಳ ಜಾತ್ರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಗೋಣ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ತಂಡ.